Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Erin, and you're watching another exclusive interview with OTEP from with R&R TV. So you guys are out promoting Smash the Control Machine. So can you tell a little bit about the new album?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it came out August 18th. We wrote it in Los Angeles, California. Um, Produced by legendary Ulrich Wilde. And we wrote it in about 2 months. Wrote it and recorded it in 2 months. It was a very intense process. There was um, quite a bit of scrutiny, but a lot of reliance upon artistic instinct, which is something that you don't often get to do when you're writing a record. You get to do that live. There's a lot of improvisation. There's because you don't play the same stage every night. Maybe the Jonas Brothers do, but we don't. You don't get to play the same stage every night. You don't get to play with the same sound system every night. You don't get to play with the same crowd every night. So you have to adapt, and that's the way it was writing this record. It was adapting. It was allowing the songs to explode and grow on their own, and I think there's a really nice organic feel to this record. Um, it's one of my, I think, proudest efforts, and I had a blast, making it. And it's great playing the songs live. The crowds are just going crazy for them.
But talking about your efforts, you have a lot of things that you're involved in. Talking about your poetry books, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I started out. The first creative thing I ever discovered that I enjoyed doing was drawing, and that was probably when I was like 2. I was just a wee little lass, and but it was busy work for my family because they weren't artists really, and so it was just busy work, hobbies. Go draw a pretty picture and stay busy. It was busy work basically, and then as that got easier and easier for me to accomplish. I wanted to write stories that went along with the illustrations, and then from that led to poetry. Poetry led to songwriting, and drawing is probably the easiest thing creatively for me to do. It requires very little thought. It just kind of happens for me. People always ask, "How do you draw this? How do you do that?" And I don't know. It's kind of just in the hand and in the eye and in the line. But poetry is more about separating myself from my reality, and I become narrator of my own story in a way that um, is, it's this detachment that occurs. So poetry for me is still the backbone of everything that I do within the band. Every song starts out as a poem, usually.
When did you realize that you had a singing ability?
Um, let's see, probably when did I start the band? In the fall of 2000. That's when I had no clue I was going to ever be a singer. I didn't think I was going to do anything with my voice. It was all drawing and writing poetry and writing stories are all very interior events that, you give exterior life, but they're still very static and stagnant. They just remain on the page. It wasn't until I those cathartic efforts weren't giving the same sort of freedom and liberation they were before. So I I tried performing poetry live. I like that, but I wanted it a little bit more intense, a little bit more interactive. I'm a big fan of Antonin Artaud, who wrote on The Theater and the Plague, The Theater and Its Double, where you include your audience and you confront your audience with whatever it is, the subject matter of your performance. And so I try that. There's this confrontational um, side of what we do, but there's also this sort of spiritual intercourse that goes on between myself and my audience. They're not allowed. No one is allowed to be a bystander or a spectator at an OTEP show. You just can't happen.
With the organizations that you are in or have created, what's to just name a few? What's like all shapes and sizes?
The all shapes and sizes. It basically it's just become sort of a social networking site for people who, um, want to meet other people that don't care what they look like or what side of the tracks they grew up on or what color their hair is, what color their skin is. It's about reaffirming and rebuilding um, self-esteem issues, or self-esteem and our perception of ourselves. So what we're trying to do with All Shapes and Sizes is teach people to love themselves first so that they're not always searching for something to fill that hole, that void. Oh, my better half, my better this, my better that. No, 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 no. You know, you need to you're fine just the way you are. You don't need someone to make you better. You don't need someone to complete you. Because that will, it invariably leads to disappointment.
Is there any one particular song off the new album that you absolutely love performing the most?
No, I love them all. I mean, an album is a book of short stories, and every story matters. Every story has, its plot devices, its narratives, its protagonist and antagonist. They all are important. From a lyrical perspective, this is probably my favorite record in its entirety. The song "You're a Woman Now" came to me in almost complete, which is rare. Usually art comes in phases and waves, especially songs. The melody may come first, or the idea, something I need to fight against or fight with or celebrate will come, and then bits and pieces fall into place, and then I end up writing the song that way. But the song "You're a Woman Now" came almost completely whole, and it's a song that I've been trying to write for a long time. It just was never there, and then this suddenly it was, and that's what I love about what I do. I'm an illusionist, just conjuring and summoning things that weren't there before, and now right before your very eyes.
Well, you're definitely totally amazing, and thank you for taking the pleasure to talk to R&R TV.